My name is Claudia Raschke. I'm a documentary cinematographer and a Canon explorer of light, and these are the tools I use for my documentaries. It is really important to use a camera that is flexible and reliable, that includes all the optics, and of course that feels aerodynamic to you when you are in a situation to capture different scenes, like for instance a dialogue-driven scene or an action-driven scene or an emotional-driven scene. All of these require different kind of strategies, and therefore the flexibility then applies to your rig, and your tools are instrumental. My favorite camera to use for my documentaries is the Cinema EOS C500 Mark II. And the reason I favor it is because it can be modified in many different ways. The key for me about the camera is really the sensor's capability, the incredible dynamic range, the reliability in terms of how the roll-off happens in the highlights, the underexposed area. There is such great retention to detail there. And then it is all about the optics. This incredible lens set is pretty much what I use. It ranges from the 24 to the 135. Why do I use the entire array for different characters, and how do I mix and match? It really depends on the story. So sometimes I favor just being on longer lenses all along, and sometimes I even, in cinema verite scenes, stick myself on a tripod and just pan with it because I want to have that distance and the more observational take on it, rather than being in the action with a 35 or a 50. And each particular lens has a field of view that is really important for me as a storyteller, as a cinematographer. Because if you think about it, the lens that you choose to tell the story is a portal to that world that you're in, and you are letting the audience witness it through that portal. And so choosing the right optic is instrumental. My favorite lens happens to be the 50. And the reason why I love the 50 so much is because of the way it can hold close focus at 18 inches and also gives you a certain depth of field with the choice of your f-stop, but further, the field of view. Absolutely am grateful for Canon to have manufactured such high quality optics. And you know, if you think about the optics, it's 114 millimeter across the board. So switching, you know, matte boxes or filters, or even if you have a follow focus, a remote follow focus attached, no big deal, right? It's reliable in terms of the markings on either side. It has such fine crafted glass with an incredible coating for each element that creates this perfect sharpness and contrast. They all match in terms of quality, and Canon lenses have just this incredible warmth for the skin tones. They make skin tone glow. Just look at me. I'm being photographed with Canon lenses right now. And on that note, if you're looking at this one over here, which is a longer lens, what's happening to the field of view? Are you feeling, you know, my thoughts? Or that one that is just on my hands? Kidding, I'm just goofing around. What I like about the primes and why I predominantly use primes for my verite scenes is because I commit to a particular point of view in terms of how to incorporate the field of view in the story for particular characters. So therefore I like to shift. I like to shift to the 135 when I become very focused on a character dilemma, let's just say. So for me it is important to use a longer lens to feel that confinement, and therefore the field of view narrows. When I use a 24, there's more freedom to discover. There's a lot more information that I can include, and therefore the spatial relationship feeds into the story in a different way. My cinematography relies heavily on the tools that I'm choosing because it sets me free to explore. And I would not have had such success if it wouldn't have been for the great tools that Canon has provided me with. My recommendation for you is to just explore with each lens, move with them, think about the field of view, think about your depth of field, how you're racking focus, and the art of exposure of what happens when you're changing, let's say from a 5.6 to 2.8, or if you're shooting wide open. What happens to your story when you focus on these different aspects of cinematography with these beautiful tools? There's only one thing: you will succeed.